What's up, everybody? Peabo the Fairweather Rider. I've told y'all before my standard for demo days would be anytime there's a demo day happening within 200 miles of my location, I don't mind rolling out. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee right now visiting my dad and found out that Honda was having a demo day at DeSoto Honda in Olive Branch, Mississippi, which is probably less than 30 miles from my dad's house. So I'm here. I'm going to see how many bikes they're going to let me ride. Yeah, I think they got the whole catalog out here today. I'm about to go sign up and see how many bikes are they going to let me ride. I know that I'm definitely going to try to ride one of them Goldwings. My goal is to ride the non-touring model in 6-speed. So let's see what we got. What's up, family? Peabo the Fairweather Rider. And guess what, family? Everybody keeps telling me that this Goldwing is supposed to be the smoothest riding touring bike in history. I'm about to find out. So that button right there is the one to let the windshield up and down. Radio control. Get ready, let's get it. The Honda Goldwing bagger model. I keep calling it non-touring, but the guy said the proper name for it is the bagger model. I believe that the ride commander is talking to the rear gunner. Make sure everybody gets lined up. This might be the only one to get the ride, family. But I can tell you right now, I'm sitting really high on this motorcycle. I can flat foot it, but the shifter is so close to the peg that I can barely get my foot in there. And I only wear a size 11. Now I see why people be getting those highway bars to put on there to extend their legs. Because I don't know if I can ride like this for a long period of time. I remember when I rode that Pan America, and I asked the question whether or not the feet position on the Pan America was the same as the Goldwing. Because on the Pan America, I felt like that my feet were behind my knees. On this bike right here, I kind of feel like my feet are probably right below my knees. Suspension on this thing is nice, going over those bumps. But as I was saying, on this one, I feel like that my feet are either right below my knees or right behind my knees. On my pursuit, my feet are in the forward position. This is a smooth riding bike, family. I wish I had a little more time with it. Yeah, the guy right there, legs are just straight. He must be riding a DCT model. It just seems like I'm sitting up a lot higher than him. Maybe it takes some getting used to, but I'm really struggling to try to shift these gears. If you ride a Goldwing, especially some of you taller guys who may have shoe sizes that are bigger than the 11, how do you manage that? Can you get a heel toe shifter for a Goldwing? Or is that just something that you have to just get used to? I think the more I ride it, I can probably get used to it. But I've said many times before that I'm going to be looking to add another bike to the stable in about another year or so. And I have been wanting to ride the Goldwing just to see if it belongs on my short list. That bump right there, I felt it, but it didn't feel the same way that it did when I was on that Harley Davidson Street Glide. But I will tell you the one thing that I absolutely love about this bike. You see how the Honda has taken the mirrors off the handlebars and put them on the fairing? And those mirrors look like they're collapsible. So that when you get off the bike, you can pull those mirrors in to make sure that no one accidentally bumps against them when they're passing by your bike. And they don't look like they stick out any further than the handlebars. That's what I'm trying to see. Which one is going to do it first, Indy and Harley Davidson? Which one of them are going to be the first one to take those mirrors off the handlebars and put them where they belong, on the fairing? Oh yeah. This bike will roll too. Yes sir, it will roll. And I'm in touring mode. I'm gonna wait till we get on the highway so I can put this thing in sport mode and see if I get a better response. Just so y'all know, it also has an adjustable windshield. So even with the windshield up or down, this device right here allows more wind flow to come into me, so I get to control whether or not I want to feel a little wind on my chest or not. There's two things that I don't like about this bike so far, maybe three. I don't like the position my legs are in. That for the type of ride I like to do a little distance riding. There's no way I'm going to be able to ride like this for more than 100 miles or so, if that long. I don't like how high I'm sitting. And I don't like how close the shifter is to the peg. Maybe those things are correctable, everything but the sitting height. I don't know. But I do like the fact that I can raise that windshield to compensate for the seat height. As I told y'all before, I don't like to see through the windshield when I ride. I'm gonna let it up a little bit just to see. All right, put it up about right there. Let me see what that does. I think there's a technique to this thing when it comes to shifting. And I guess the more you ride it, the more you figure it out. As it doesn't take long for me to try to figure out a technique that I have to use in order to make sure that I'm able to shift the gears easily. I would probably have to spend a little more time with this bike before I'm able to even consider it as one of the best touring motorcycles ever made. Don't get me wrong now, the bike is smooth. When you roll on the throttle, you're going to get access to the torque and the power. There are some things about this bike that makes it stand out from all other bikes all other touring bikes. But there are some things about my Pursuit that also makes it stand out even above this bike. So yeah, this bike, I can see it being a great touring bike. I can see why so many people love getting on the highway on one of these Goldwings. And you probably see more 10, 20-year-old Goldwings on the road than any other motorcycle. But I'm not ready to declare that it's the smoothest touring motorcycle ever made. When people say that, that might be a little hyperbole. So as I told y'all before, my only point of reference is my Pursuit. And this bike is much lighter than my Pursuit. Of course, it doesn't have the trunk that my Pursuit has. But the way that the Pursuit is made so that you don't notice all that weight that you're riding with on the end of the Pursuit. So you can feel that this bike is a lot more agile. Not sure how it would do in slow speed maneuvers. But I've seen people on Robert Simmons' YouTube channel and on Goldwings successfully going through some of the practice exercises that he does. So I'm going to assume that it's possible to do less than a 24-foot U-turn on one of these. I think we're about to get on this highway, y'all. Let's go to sport mode. Then we can do this. Okay, turn lights are self-counseling. Oh yeah. This baby will roll here. See, like every gear I can feel it jerk. These Goldwings will get up and go. We've already left the people behind us. I got the windshield up about halfway. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. As I said before, the only thing I don't like is the position of my legs. I need to be able to stretch my legs out about right there. Oh, that was nice. Wish I would have had a little more time on the expressway. Here's some of these twists back here, let y'all know how easy it is to maneuver this bike. I've been on this bike for about 20 minutes, and I'm already feeling the need to stretch my legs out. But I don't want to emphasize that too much. Hopefully I haven't been, to make y'all think that this bike is not a joy to ride, because I am enjoying it. Y'all have seen Mad Dog on my channel a few times. Mad Dog is the one who drives that green DCT Goldwing. He's taller than me. And he rode that thing all the way to El Paso, Texas from Pineville, Louisiana. Did that iron butt. I can feel that engine rumbling under my seat. I don't know what position it's going to be in, but I think the Goldwing might be in my top 5. I just have to find out whether or not all Goldwings ride this high, number one. Number two, is there a way or a technique that I can use to better deal with this shifter? The shift action itself is pretty smooth. As I said before, I don't think I wear a size 11, which is not very big. And I'm having trouble getting my foot under the shifter. I can see now why most people who have these Goldwings don't really do a lot to make them more comfortable. It's definitely comfortable. I thought I wouldn't like these handlebars being so low. But to be honest with you, I don't mind them. I've seen a couple videos on YouTube. I think Sensei from Ride Fit Nation, Slappy from Slappy's Adventure, they both changed out their bars to something that's probably a little taller. There's another YouTuber that just went out and bought a Goldwing. Don't put his name on the screen because for some reason I can't think of his name. But he has a green Goldwing that he calls Hulk, and a black Road Glide that he calls Kong. And I believe that he changed out the bars on his Goldwing to the same ones that Slappy and Sensei have on theirs. This bike right here seems to invite you to ride it hard. Every time you roll on the throttle, it's jerking like saying, that's all you're gonna give me? And I can tell you that once you get up in those upper ranges, between 5th and 6th gear, where a whole lot of bikes tend to lose some of that torque, not this one. Not based on what I just saw, not based on what just happened when I got on the highway back then. While we wait for this light to turn, tell you the one thing I do know, and that is while we're on the road, while I've been on the road with Mad Dog has always put 87 octane in his Honda Goldwing. That's a big difference from the premium gas that you have to put in the Indians and Harley Davidsons. And it does not seem to affect performance at all. All right, guys, we're almost back. I have to pull it back into the dealership right now. Letting y'all know right now how much I thoroughly enjoy riding this bike. You can turn it off by this thing, or you can turn it off by this thing. Let me turn it off by this, then I'm gonna turn it off right there. Then I'm gonna let down the side stand. All this time I've been referring to this bike as the non-touring model. But the real name for it is the bagger model. That's a great riding bike. And I still enjoy riding that 6-speed. We're going to talk about this one probably on the ride Back to Alexandria, y'all. Stay tuned, y'all. This is the Fairweather Rider. I'm out here riding a Honda Goldwing for the first time. Hey, family, friends, loved ones. I'm back on my Indian pursuit, and there are some things that I want to talk about related to my experience riding that Goldwing bagger. First, I'm going to tell you some of the specs of the Goldwing. Then, I'm going to tell you some of the differences between the Goldwing Tour and the Goldwing bagger. Then, I'm going to tell you which Goldwing I would get and why. So, the engine on the Goldwing is liquid cooled. It's 1833 cc horizontally opposed. It's a 6-cylinder engine. It's shaft driven and it puts out about 125 horsepower and somewhere between 125 and 126 foot-pounds of torque. The suspension on the Goldwing bagger, for the front, you have about 4.3 inches of travel, and for the rear, you have a little more than 4 inches of travel. The suspension for the bagger is manually adjusted, but if you adjust the preload for the back, it also is linked to the front, so you adjust both. The one that I test rode had a 6-speed manual gearbox with an electronic reverse. It also has the 7-inch display, and it comes equipped from the factory with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android audio. The audio, you get 2 speakers in the fairing, and for the rider comforts, you have 4 riding modes. You have Tour, Sport, Econ, and Rain. Comes with cruise control, hill start assist, and the ABS brakes in the front and rear are linked. That's standard. Now, some of the differences between the bagger model and what you would get if you were to step up to the Goldwing Tour. So on the bagger model, you get a shorter windshield that's designed to give you a sportier look. On the Tour, you get a taller windscreen for maximum wind protection. Your cargo capacity on the bagger, you have the saddlebags, which holds about 60 liters of storage. If you jump up to the Tour, then you get the trunk, and the trunk is capable of holding 2 full-faced helmets. For the passenger comforts, the Goldwing bagger comes with a smaller seat and you get no backrest. If you jump up to the Tour, you get an improved, larger passenger seat with a very comfortable backrest. The weight between the two, the bagger weighs about 40 pounds less than the touring model. The suspension, as I said before, for the bagger model, you have to manually adjust the preload. For the Tour, it's all electronic. You do it directly from the 7-inch display. For the bagger model, you get heated grips but no heated seat. For the Tour, you get both heated grips and heated seats. The heated seats apply to both the rider and the passenger. For the radio, you get 2 speakers on the bagger, but you get 4 speakers on the Tour. The center stand does not come standard on the bagger, but it does on the Tour. The fog lights, you don't get them on the bagger, but you get them on the Tour. And if you jump up to the absolute top of the line Tour model, you would have the option of getting an airbag. So with that said, if I were to buy a Goldwing as my next motorcycle or as the motorcycle that I want to add to the stable, based on all the things that you get with the Tour model, I personally would go for the Tour model. Now, I know that I said several times that I'm not looking for a full dress motorcycle because I already have that in the Indian Pursuit. So, the modifications that I would make to a Honda Goldwing Tour to make it a bagger is I'm told that Honda sells a trunk elimination kit for somewhere between $500 to $600, where you can remove the trunk, install the kit, and turn a Tour into a bagger, and you still have all those additional features that come with the bagger. And with that, the only other changes that I would make is I would have to have a hill shifter. So if the Honda Tour model does not come with the hill shifter, I would definitely have to add one. The only other thing that I would do is I would change the windshield from the taller windshield that you see on the Tour model and replace it with the sportier windscreen that comes on the bagger model. After those minor adjustments, the only thing left to do would be to put some miles on it. So the Honda Goldwing, specifically the Tour model, is probably going to be somewhere in my top 5. What's up, family? Hey, family. Before I close this video out, I just want to give you guys an update. As I said on many of my videos, my goal is to put 10,000 miles on the Indian Pursuit before the end of the year or within the 2025 calendar year. I just left Memphis, Tennessee, visiting my dad again, and I'm about 100 miles from the Fairweather garage, and I'm about 18,416 miles on the odometer. I started the year with just a little more than 10,000 miles, somewhere around 10,015 or 20 miles on the odometer. I anticipate by the time I get back to the Fairweather garage, I'm going to have somewhere around 18,500. I'm going to go on another trip next weekend where we ride across the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, and that's going to be about another 450 miles. So I believe I am still on track to get that 10,000 miles before the end of the calendar year. But for now, I'm about to put some miles on this Indian Pursuit. For you, think about that motorcycle you have. You've already got the motorcycle. If you like it the way you say you like it, then you should be putting some miles on it too. If you're in central Louisiana, we can get out here and ride together. Thanks everyone for joining me on my journey. If you haven't done so already, consider hitting that subscribe button and come back and watching a few more videos. Let's grow this channel together. This is the Fairweather Rider, and you know I'll be back.